I did it. I did it. I watched it. Let me tell you, I had so much anxiety coming into watching this review because I was just like, is they going to start off gunning for Garcelle? Or are they going to like tandem and offshoot between Sutton and Garcelle? Honey, Sutton secured her spot. She did not get nothing on her, as Jacqueline Walters says, honey. Sutton didn't get nothing on her. And the fact that Sutton had the nerve, we gonna get into it. I'm going too fast. Okay, so we're going to start from the top with Kyle and Dorit. Now, mind you, when the season first started, the only reason and the one and only singular reason that I was Team Dorit, because I will never be Team Kyle. Kyle is no one's friend, and her hypocrisy showed throughout this entire first part of this reunion. Queen Garcelle looked amazing. I did like everyone's dress in motion. I didn't realize Bo's dress had like a little train. I was not a fan of that. Erika's dress, even though I don't see it for her at all, her dress walking in real time, gorgeous. And the fact that she didn't even know who made the dress, girl, okay. We know it ain't Marco. Anyways, so even before they get on set, Erika and Kyle are off with the BS. Oh, maybe I should pretend to faint and leave, talking about Sutton and Garcelle leaving. And then she has the nerve, the audacity to call them mean girls. First hypocrisy. First hypocrisy, it's ridiculous. Like, they are the VP and president respectively. Anyway. And F your crystals, Kyle. Like, please, give me a break. And I'm not downplaying anybody who believes in that and all of that. Just, it's Kyle. It's Kyle. Garcelle with the foreshadowing of the cast photo. So this is 2 years that she's not in a cast photo. Don't worry, girl. You went out with a bang with your singular photo, baby. Yes. And the fact that her and Sutton was sticking together is hilarious. So we are getting into Kyle and Dorit and their little back and forth. And I'm not even going to go too deep into it because Kyle and Dorit are not friends anymore because Dorit has Bozema now. So Dorit doesn't have to, grovel to get Kyle. Because that is what Kyle wants. Kyle likes people, like when she puts them in timeout, which she admittedly does, she wants them to grovel for their friendship. And Dorit doesn't have to do that anymore because she has Bozema. And I've said this on my TikTok as well. I said Bozema is very strategic. In my mind, I was like, she did not come into this blind. She came in watching a season or two. She said she felt it was, paraphrasing, she thought it was hyperbolic. It's not. They are like that. It's edited in a way where one situation can be emphasized into 3 episodes. However, the feelings are real for most of them. Some of them. So they're a little back and forth, but the one thing that went over Kyle's head, but probably didn't really, she probably catched it a second after, is when Dorit clocked her and was like, you have relationships with the executives and producers on this show, so how didn't you know? You knew that I was coming back the next season, so why would you think that I was trying to save my job because I was talking to you in a way that you weren't used to? And then, that was a read because everybody knows the person that sits at the head of the couch, always, either you are an OG or you are in the executive's pockets or they are in yours. And Kyle is 2 of those. So that was a little light read. And Kyle caught it 2 seconds after because she saw her eyes perk up. Now, what I did notice, listen to me, PK Kemsley, whatever his first name is, he is very problematic. He is, in fact, a manipulative misogynist. Because no matter how you feel, I feel that Dorit did have some type of PTSD. I do feel she had something because her kids were in the house. Things happened. I am with Garcelle. I think that she was in that house scared. I think that somebody set all of this up. She didn't say it was PK, but it was insinuated, Garcelle. I'm going to have to say it, babe. But like, it was insinuated that it was PK, but what does PK do? Boy George, I don't know where he's touring. Like, what does PK do? Come on now, Tommy. Like, what is your job? Skimming scammer vibes. Listen, that little read, I was like, ooh. And even problematic Andy was like, and then he was like, well, Sally Ann is one of our producers. Exactly. So there we go. So then they go to, we all seen the snippets of what do you call this girl? Dorit telling Sutton, why should I answer any of your questions? Because you have to like women, blah, 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 blah. Her little moment that she had to give, whatever. I do agree with Sutton. Like, Sutton was coming from a place like, I didn't tell my kids either. And it's not hypocrisy. It's me saying that I should have told my kids. My kids were the same age as her kids when me and Christopher got divorced. She should tell them. Dorit, tell your kids. They already know. If I'm only seeing my dad every other Saturday or every Saturday if he's in town and he's not living with you, and again, I'm never going to stop saying it. PK and Dorit have been separated for 2 years before they put that statement out saying that they were separating. He has not lived at home for 2 years. Whether it's whatever businesses he has in London or whatever information that he's getting at the Beverly Hills Hotel. I don't know. But he's not at that house. He's not at that house in Encino. I think it's in Encino. Anyways. So I kind of agree. I'm kind of on the fence with PK and Dorit because it's kind of like there's some people out there that said that PK and Dorit are doing this to play up to stay on the show because they need money. And then there's the people on the other side that's saying that they're getting divorced. PK is this, Dorit is this. I'm on the fence about it. I feel like Dorit, I just don't feel like PK would let Dorit call him an alcoholic on the show, call him a bad dad on the show, say all these bad things in the side of them trying to stay on this show. I don't think that Dorit would do that to her kids. I just don't feel like this is something that, because one thing I do think about Dorit is I think she is a great mother. Like, I think she cares about her kids. I think she cares about the way that she looks. I think she cares about the things that she wears. I think she's superficial in that mindset. Like, she's living in the fast lane. But I don't think that she would intentionally hurt her children. That's just my take on it. I could be wrong. Again, parasocial relationships is a thing. And we think, well, for me, I don't know these people. But from what they're showing us on the screen, I just don't think that Dorit would do this to her children intentionally. Unless it's like dire straits. I don't know. That's why I'm on the fence about it. Because just like how everybody else said, like, even Kyle, even Kyle, right out the gate, she was like, oh, he's an alcoholic. He's a full-blown alcoholic. And then she tells us that PK told her, I am not talking about my sobriety journey with you anymore. I don't know. Their relationship seems very toxic. It seems very toxic. And I think that PK in his misogyny is very manipulative with his information. They're going to have a very nasty divorce. If it comes to that for real, it's not going to be pretty at all. And it's going to play out on this screen. Because she's not leaving. Because if she's saying at the reunion now, people are going to want to see how it... Like, if she comes back with season 15, right? and they're still married and she's still saying the same story, that's it for Dorit. Like, that's the last season for her. We're not gonna see her after that, because like, what's the point? We gonna have you and Kyle still married, doing whatever the hell y'all want to do? No, nobody wants to see that. And then we don't even have Garcelle there to ask the questions. We just gotta have Sutton there placating and trying to cover for Kyle. Get the hell out of here. Listen, I just feel like Dorit clocking Kyle and her BS is just top tier entertainment for me, because I just don't understand how Kyle could say, I know you the best, and then go on Amazon Live and say that we are barely friends. Like, it don't make sense. It don't make sense. Okay. Let me see. So PK's statement was, I don't know. Did ChatGPT write that? I don't know. It felt very precise, on point. If he wrote that, kudos to him. I agree. But then within the whole statement, it's giving, like, the last sentence is where that misogyny and manipulation comes in. Because he's saying, I hope that the woman I married I hope the woman now finds a woman. Basically saying that I want the woman that I married to be on the screen. And to be honest with you, if PK is struggling with his sobriety, being at that reunion and having to go back and forth with Dorit is not a good look for him. Like, for him, it's not a good look. And I think he made the right decision not coming to the reunion. That's just me. I don't know if they're that smart in that plan. I don't know. I don't know, man. The two of them, they give me pause, honestly. Like, they give me pause. Like, they are, when Erika had that tagline that said that she's an enigma, Dorit and PK is an enigma. Like, it's really something that you cannot understand or fathom. And what's really the truth? You're never really going to get the truth from either one of them, to be honest with you. So yeah. So let's go into Kyle calling Sutton and Garcelle mean girls. Sutton talks with two sides of her mouth. Sutton is problematic. I've always said that. Now at this point, now we know that Garcelle is not coming back, and she left the reunion after the Friends of came on the couch. We know that she's not going to be part of the third episode or third part of the reunion, right? I can't wait to see what it is that made her get up and go, because they have not showed us that yet. They gave us a snippet of her saying F them as she walked back to her dressing room, and they placed that sound on her walking out of the reunion. So I wonder what she really said. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we have to watch the shows for ourselves, because the clips and the editing, it gives us a different meaning and a different understanding. So I just don't understand how Kyle's storyline for 14 years has been her family. She always says, I've shared my whole life. You have shared what people have. You have shared people's reaction to you. They have been season after season that people have been talking about Mauricio cheating. You've never said anything about it until now, when you asked for a divorce, you asked for the separation. You was traipsing Morgan all over the place with the paparazzis, and you are still to this day rolling around with Morgan with the paparazzi. Like, Kyle is a strategic chess player. And the fact that she told LVP that she is manipulative and she is playing chess just shows that Kyle did it first. And that's how they got Lisa Vanderpump off this show. And I'm going to stick to it. I didn't watch those seasons. I'm not going to go back and watch it. I know that I'm right, and that's it. So Kyle's strategy of talking to Garcelle and Sutton off screen, I don't know if it was after Chuck E. Cheese or if it was after them filming at Chuck E. Cheese. She's saying that I talked to you off camera. You said that you didn't want, your son is not on here and you don't want to talk about your son. And I respected that. I told you that Morgan's not on screen and she's not here, so I don't want you to talk about it. And you didn't respect that. But the thing about it is, if you kept Morgan private and you were not all over the place with the paparazzi, taking pictures of you, going to concerts, or walking around doing all these other things, and then bring her on the show the year before, what in the world would make you think that no one is going to ask you about Morgan at least one time? They're going to ask you about it. Now, I don't know, and Garcelle and Sutton has not said anything about the conversation that Kyle said to them, but Kyle has this thing, just like that text message she gave to Dorit before the reunion. It's all a chess move, and Sutton said it, and Sutton knows it, and Sutton was mad at Garcelle for saying what she said. However, you have thrown Garcelle under the bus plenty of times, and now it's your turn, Sutton. It is your turn to get thrown under the bus. And the fact that you could stand up after everyone left and says, everyone hates me, I think I'm about to cry. Shut up. Shut up with that. Because no one was even talking to you. They were all talking about Garcelle. It was all Garcelle. So the fact that, and I'm going to go back to this, the fact that Kyle could even fix her mouth and call Garcelle and Sutton mean girls is ridiculous. Why is it that you can go after people, Kyle, scene after scene, episode after episode, screaming at Sutton and saying, you need to tell your truth. You just need to talk about it, blah, 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 blah. And you don't want to talk about things. You have a list of things that you don't want to talk about. Like, what? Please. Please. And I'm glad that they're doing this to Kyle, because Kyle feels like she's untouchable. She feels like she's untouchable. If I tell you not to talk about this, you better not talk about it. Am I a kid? Am I a child? Please. So we're going to go with, like when Garcelle brought up the actual robbery thing, I was like, oh God, here we go again. Why are we even talking about that stupid robbery? And I'm not saying stupid that is, because I do believe Dorit has, like, you know, PTSD, as I said prior. I just feel like my point with Garcelle was like, why would you even bring that up? But it was brought up at the reunion that Garcelle said something snide in the after show or in her confessionals or whatever. But then she wanted to, say, all right, like, I just feel like Dorit didn't know anything about this robbery and that she was set up. Like, we think that it was set up too. Like, I'm part of the 4 people. And there's other 4 people that have said it online. So that probably adds up to about 10,000 people that think that the robbery was staged. Like, what? And then Garcelle brought it up one time. So you're trying to tell me that they edited out all the times that Garcelle talked about the robbery? I think that Bravo would never. They would take any opportunity to show somebody as being a certain way, and they would put all of that within the show because that would be the storyline. I don't know. And Garcelle was already, like, it just started and Garcelle was already over it. She was like, okay, I'm sorry about that. Like, okay, all right. So I was like, okay, I'm sorry. Like, okay, whatever. And the fact that and then Bozema's just like egging it on after they came back to the room, just like, that is something that you're not supposed to say. That is, you shouldn't even say things like that. And blah, 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 getting in Dorit's ear. Remember what I said? Bozema is not a sheep. She is not following these women. She is the wolf. Watch what I tell you. When you watch this show next season, y'all gonna find out. Y'all are going to find out. Yeah, and that's all I gotta say about this. And I agree with Garcelle. Garcelle was like, I'm done with all of y'all. At that moment, I knew right then Garcelle was like, I think I'm done with this show. I feel like she was like 85% sitting in that chair. And that long text message that somebody sent her, and she was sending them a long soliloquy back. Y'all saw that on her phone? Garcelle, I think Garcelle was done at that very moment. She was like, when I go back here and they start with something else, I am going to be so absolutely done. I am going to be done with all of this. And I feel it. Erika doesn't have anything going on. Nothing whatsoever. Her and Garcelle are playing the same role on different fields. Garcelle is on the outside. She is outside waiting for somebody to miss and check. Erika is at bat. Just lobbing them out. Being part of the team. Garcelle is the outlier. But they are playing the same exact position. But for whatever reason, Garcelle is the villain. Oh, listen, all hail Queen Garcelle Bouvet, honey. Because there's no way, no how that I am going to be on any one of those other women's side. Not one time. It's not. Nothing, just like Bozeman said, nothing that y'all can say is going to sway me on not liking her or she's trying to manipulate me. Y'all are not going to manipulate me into thinking that Garcelle is a bad person. And that says more about Bozema than that has to say about Garcelle. Can you believe that Bozema said that? That woman said that says more about you than it does about anybody else. Okay. That's fine. That's confidence. And hey, this is what it is, and that's how it's gonna go. And yeah, that is my conclusion of the first part of this reunion. We all see that it is Garcelle, get Garcelle. Kyle is calling them a mean girl because her off-camera conversation didn't sway them to not talk about her. You're comparing your big old age to a 14-year-old kid or a 17-year-old kid at this point. Give me a break, Kyle. There's no comparison. There will never be. Kyle always wants the option of saying yes or no. That's why she talks to people offline. That's why she sends people text messages. You see what I'm saying? But hey, all hail Queen Garcelle Bouvet. Do you understand me? Not Kyle Richards. Almost not Umansky. All right, guys, if you made it this far, I tried not to keep y'all too long because we've seen the 10,000 snippets online, but I had to see it for myself. I grit my teeth, I took away my anxiety, and I was like, let me just see what they gotta say. I watched it. It was a good reunion, first part. It was a good first part reunion. I give it a 7. Kyle and Dorit, they are not friends. Erika needs to get a life. I appreciate you. I hope you like, subscribe, and keep the conversation going on. In the comments, keep it cute. And, you know, if you disagree with me, that's fine. If you agree with me, let's just have a conversation about it, okay? And, again, thank you guys for being here and listening to me rant and rave about these crazy ladies on Bravo. And, you know, the real lady of Bravo has left. All hail Queen Garcelle Bouvet.